Located in the beautiful countryside of southeast Pennsylvania, TLC Animal Nutrition has been independently owned and operated since 1999. Our premier formula, Equi-Bone, was developed to provide a comprehensive nutrient profile that would not only provide the daily requirements for a horse, but focuses on supporting bone integrity and improved circulation. By providing the building blocks for bone density, Equi-Bone has proven effective in many bone-related issues and has been used successfully in horses with conditions such as bone chips, calcium deposits, spurs, splints, fractures, and navicular. If the horse has an existing bone complication, we recommend feeding Equi-Bone to not only increase the supply of bone-building nutrients, but also to support metabolic function and improve circulation. We all recognize the role that calcium plays in bone integrity, but studies show that there are actually 5 minerals that are responsible for 70% of bone composition. They're calcium, phosphorus, copper, magnesium, and surprisingly, potassium. By focusing on these 5 minerals and adding niacin, a vasodilator that improves circulation, the nutrient profile found in Equi-Bone will work over time to rebalance the dietary deficiencies. The objective of this comprehensive approach is to take the guesswork out of the nutritional equation for you and your horse. A recent field study done over a 5-month period on 12 horses suffering from navicular and calcium deposits showed half of all horses on the Equi-Bone formula returned to complete soundness. 3 of the horses showed an improvement in their lameness of 66% or better. The last 3 horses were found to have a secondary condition, but still rated with noticeable improvement by the evaluating vet. The end result? All the horses on the Equi-Bone formula were more comfortable in the first few weeks and showed a 100% response rate to reduction of lameness. Basically, all the horses were helped by Equi-Bone. And for the skeptics, the horses in this study had no changes in their shoeing, no medication or treatments during this trial. The only change? Equi-Bone. In today's competitive equine world, there's an incredible amount of physical demands made on our horses, and this has made it necessary to deliver a more complex nutrient profile for today's performance horses. Now, more than ever, horses require us to be diligent in recognizing their needs and acting quickly to address the issue. Equi-Bone is a fast and easy way for you to take care of your horse that results in better bone health, better horse health, and less stress because we take care of everything for you. Equi-Bone simplifies feeding for bone-related injuries by providing all the daily requirements, with a focus on the supply of bone-building nutrients and increasing circulation. Simply, Equi-Bone is the product for you. But don't take our word for it. Listen to actual users of Equi-Bone and see what they have to say and how Equi-Bone has helped them.
The thing that made me really want to look or take him to the vet and really do a thorough lameness exam and find out what was wrong with him was I went to a race over the 4th of July. Ground was a little hard and he would not work at all. He went clear to the wall, clear to the fence on every barrel. It was just a runaway. And I knew inside me he's hurting somewhere. I just knew it. The vets called me after a few days and told me that he was severe navicular in both front feet. He had a bone cyst on his right coffin joint, and he had in the lateral flexing tendons in both feet. He had tendonitis where there were adhesions forming between the joint and the tendons. And the diagnosis was, this horse is extremely, extremely bad, and he won't run barrels anymore. And the best thing for him would be to kick him out on the pasture and just let him live his days out happy. So I brought him home, and I kicked him out on about 20 acres, and he got worse. He would limp, literally the first time I ever saw him limp to the feed dish every day. I'd go out and give him grain. He would limp to the feed dish. So that was breaking my heart. So I did some research on the internet to find out, what do people do for navicular horses? I mean, I've heard it shoeing and special shoes and and injections. I've heard all of that, you know. And the same thing kept coming up among barrel racers was TLC, animal nutrition, the bone density growth, or Equi-Bone. I was pretty excited about how he was feeling. At the end of that month in June, I entered him at a race, and it was a 2-day barrel race. I didn't run him the first day, I ran him the second day. And the second day, he came in and won the 1D, and out of 190, and was the second fastest time of the whole weekend. I called TLC back to tell them how wonderful their product was and how excited I was. And so I took him back to Washington State University in July, a whole year later, to have him re-x-rayed. The vet and I looked at his x-rays, and the vet, what he told me to do was to go run this horse. He said, don't misinterpret me. He said 3 different times, he said, I think you should run him. I do think you should run him. It was an interesting thing though, because he did say, you have one of those tough horses that can just run in pain. And I said, you know, that's what's funny, is he can't run in pain. That's why I came to Washington State University in the first place. He's not in pain because he's running better than he's ever ran. He doesn't get any painkiller. He has never been injected, and we didn't do any changes on his feet. Just all I've done is put him on the Equi-Bone.
Hi, my name is Tina Spangler of TLC Barrel Horse Training in Groveland, Florida, and this is Nonstop Maggie. She's a 10-year-old barrel racing mare, and she's been barrel racing since she was 4 years old. About a year ago, Maggie was diagnosed with navicular. They injected her, and she went sound for about 3 months, but then she came up sore again. I took her back to the vets. They recommend trying injections again, or possibly doing a surgery called nerving her. I didn't feel comfortable with that, so I told them I needed time to think. I remembered an article for TLC Animal Nutrition and a product called Equi-Bone. I put Maggie on that product for the maximum dose for 2 months. Within 1 month, Maggie was sound. And I took her to a barrel race with 250 entries, and she was 7th in the 1D. Right. She's now been on the product about 8 months, and I have to say, now she's only on the maintenance level, and I've been more impressed with how well she stayed sound this year, and she's running at her best.
Flame was officially diagnosed with navicular at the age of 13. Radiographs showed multiple holes and bone spurs in both front feet.
I want to give you a view of the type of shoes that he has on. In 1993 was the first time I began noticing things not correct with his walk and trot and lope. Up to that time, he had been a magnificent performance horse.
Here you can see he is beginning to show signs of being more comfortable. Flame could absolutely not trot before, but at this time, the owner considers this improvement amazing.
Flame on a horse walker. An amazing sight. This horse could not do this a few months ago. He absolutely could not.
At 14 months on the formula, his owner, Betty Cates, reports Flame is doing better than ever. His movement and stride are even more impressive, and there have been no changes to his shoeing, no medications or injections whatsoever. The only change was made to his diet with the inclusion of the proprietary ingredients.
That was awesome.
Found only in the Equi-Bone formula.
had a vet tell me one time, I don't even remember who he was, but I'll never forget what he told me years ago. He said, if you inject a joint, the joint will then rely on the injections to keep coming because the body gets this surge of joint lubricant and it doesn't produce enough of it anymore. It doesn't even try because you're going and getting them. But when you give them a supplement that the body can take and harvest and use as a whole nutritional outlook, the person or the animal then does better on it.
From the backyard horse to the most elite performance horse, Equi-Bone by TLC Animal Nutrition provides the most comprehensive bone support formula available anywhere.